What's up, everyone? Joe Gray here today with another GGC live stream. I am joined by my dude Marcus from 922 Designs. I'm going to let him introduce himself in just a second. Today is day one of Prize Week. If you are new to the GGC, this is the week that everyone is looking forward to as we drop a tremendous amount of prizes. We've got over $17,000 in prizes going out this year. Or sorry, I keep saying this year, this spring. So literally this event, we've got a total of, I'm looking at the number right now, 79 prizes from different companies, ranging from shirts and apparel and banners and accessories to barbells. I think we've got 14 different cable attachments and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you're watching this and you did participate in the GGC, sorry, try again in the fall. But this should be hopefully your wake-up call that you should have participated and you should show up next time and do so. So all right, Marcus, tell the people who are you, why you're here, huh?
All right. Thank you, Joe. Well, first, I'm excited to be a part of this as a first-time sponsor. My name is Marcus Quinones, as Joe mentioned. Some of you may know me as Twisted Barbell with my YouTube channel, but I did start a company this year called 922 Designs, where it's focusing on laser engraving and doing some customization for the home gym community that I'm a part of and really happy to be a part of. So I've offered to do a sponsorship for this spring. I'll love to continue doing that for subsequent garage gym competitions, but my offer here is a custom bench cover and a pair of custom end caps to whoever the lucky winner is. And, we'll talk one-on-one with that lucky winner so I can get you whatever kind of customization you want. Make sure it fits for your specific bench, and we'll go from there. Thank you, Joe.
Awesome. So we'll get a little bit more from Marcus as we go, but we are going to kick this off with, so you can see on the screen there is Marcus's custom bench cover piece. So that's from Mr. Coach Chirp himself, as well as some Wu-Tang apparel, which I approve of. Our winner today, so we're going to do another live announcement this afternoon for another prize, but our winner for this one is our dude right here. So this is Gabrielle. So on Instagram, it's GBJ2022. So congrats, my dude. You will get an email. I'm going to post that right now on Instagram and Facebook as we watch his lifts. So John Greaves, John, right, Marcus?
Yeah.
Yeah. So John and I talked a while back, and he said, and it always reminds me when I see lifts like this in places where he said one of the best parts about the GGC is the fact that it's the only event he can think of where you have someone who squats like 800 pounds competes in the exact same competition as someone who squats like 75 pounds, right?
Yep.
And so this is a good example here. So this dude's gonna smash some big old weights around a crew of dudes with a mono and all kinds of fun stuff, wearing his briefs and different things, which we saw a lot during our top athlete video last Friday. And yeah, let's take a look.
Back, open, chest up, go.
Nice.
Forward. One, up. Start. Press. Come on. Right.
Easy.
Yeah, easy money. Nice.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So, all right, Gabrielle, you will get an email from myself as well as Marcus at some point this week. I typically get caught up like Wednesday or something for the last couple of days. Get those all out, get you started on your custom design process, and get you some cool stuff for your gym. So, Marcus, tell people what else you're working on. So you got the custom bench cover, you got the custom end caps. What else you got going?
Yeah, some other cosmetic stuff I've been working on is some like rack badges I have that I've been working on. These are just some designs I've been playing with, and so I'm going to be working on those. I know a couple people have started offering similar type options. I have a lot of things in my head going on, but as I mentioned to you, one of the things I'm going to be looking to get into moving forward is some metal fabrication. So joining the already populated group of companies that make a bunch of custom gym equipment for us. And I'm just looking to potentially fill some gaps in the industry. And I think it's really nice because, you know, a couple of years ago, we had just the basics, you know, rack, bench, those kinds of things. And now a lot of companies are making some really cool products, and I'd like to join that and make some cool stuff for people in this community as well.
Awesome. Yeah, what I put in the Instagram post that I just threw up there was, I always love it when somebody who actually understands lifters at home is making stuff for people who lift at home, because weirdly enough, it's at least a little bit different. So the stuff, you know, in a commercial gym versus at home can be different because of environment and all kinds of things. Even to the point of, like, I know, like, take a bench, you know, Rep just did a really good job with their new Nighthawk because they went, hey, do we really need a 135-pound bench? Probably not, right?
Never did.
Yeah.
But you know what? People get the idea, like they see that number, maximum weight capacity, 1,000 pounds. Like, yeah, I need that. And if you do the math, like on my best day, if I could bench 405 pounds, I only weigh 240 pounds at my heaviest. I still have a huge buffer there to go. But we all know that companies, they actually, you know, put that specification down lower than where it should be, just to kind of
like
CYA.
Half or something like that is the typical. Right.
They want to cover themselves. So even the Nighthawk, I think it's 700 pounds. You got more than that, just based on the metal and the specifications of the metal they use. You have more than that. It's unnecessary. Every time I go down to reach for my AB 5200, I'm like, all right, let me make sure I'm squared off. I'm supporting myself. I'm bracing. This is just, it's crazy.
It's a full workout moving one of those benches on its own most of the time. So so they, you know, they cut a bunch of steel off. They cut a bunch of different things. They made it more maneuverable. They improved the wheels. And I got a bunch of benches in my gym right now for an upcoming project. And you know, my wife immediately went, oh, I can move this one. Right? This is fantastic. And like, the crazy thing is, like, she deadlifted 230 in the spring. So it's not like she doesn't lift or anything, right? She's a pretty consistent lifter. And then my daughter can move it. Like, it's a little tall for her when it's in vertical storage, but otherwise, like, as soon as she gets it down in position, she can move it. So it's a huge difference when someone like gets it, right? And so I know you, being someone who lifts at home, you power lift, like, you're pushing the numbers and everything, you get that piece to the puzzle. So I'm really excited to see what comes out of your neck of the woods here. So
that's good thing to point out, because I think that's why we've been getting a lot of really cool products. People who do what we do have the home gyms. They're pushing out some really cool stuff. So definitely.
All right, man, we're going to take a look at a few of the other winners today. So we're going to pop up some of our sponsors. Let's take a look. So our winner this morning from Reddit took home a squat harness from, let's see if it loads. From Rip by Rosenblatt. So I have one of these. He sent me one at the end of last year. This is his version 4, so it's a little bit different than the one that I have. But it ended up making my best cable attachments list this year that I've put together. I use it for split squats with a cable machine, which is horrendously terrible since split squats are already bad and somehow they got worse, but in the right way. And then it's also really good in my space for like calf raises. So instead of having to load up like a safety squat bar or something like that, balance it in a rack, you can just set up in the cables, do your thing, good to go.
Very smart.
I know a handful of other guys are using it for good mornings and different things. And so, the only struggle you're going to run into on some exercises, because like he'll use it. He works with a lot of like Gen Pop type people in his garage. They'll do squats with it. So kind of almost like a belt squat type solution. Doesn't really work for some of us as bigger lifters because you only have a couple hundred pounds in your cable system. So it doesn't work as intended. But otherwise, it's pretty good. So awesome. Next up, we had Barbell Rescue. Do you have one of these in your gym?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I have another brand, but not this one. This is pretty cool. I need to pick one of these up soon.
Yeah, we like this. The round tubing just makes sense, right? Bar's round, it's round, it works. Barbell Rescue has a full kit as well that they have now with the oil and the rag and stuff. I actually have mine right here for us. So mine looks exactly like the picture. So the nice thing, all those bristles on the inside, it just clamps down on the bar. And you do your sexual innuendo movement on it with the lube and stuff, and you're good to go. The one negative to it is actually for Kim. So Kim's the owner of Barbar Rescue. Is they don't break. So your typical brushes that you buy from like Harbor Freight and stuff break it like, I don't know, after the first or second use. Kim and I have talked. He goes, dude, this is a terrible business.
No repeat customers, right?
Yeah. He's like, you buy one. He goes, and then no one has to buy another one.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Figure out something. So that's actually where he started making the oil and the rag and stuff. He's like, at some point, the rag's going to trash out on you.
Right.
And at some point, you're going to use the full bottle of oil. He's like, so maybe I can keep this business running. But yeah, so I've had this for well over a year. And outside of having to clean it occasionally, like it doesn't even look like I've used it. And I use it on my Texas deadlift bar and stuff, which is knurling. So yeah. So I highly recommend if you like to keep your bars clean or need to clean them occasionally. I only do it a couple of times a year. I don't know how frequent you clean. Yeah.
Same here. But mine is only like half of this, basically, so I have to kind of cup it around the bar. And sometimes it'll snag and my hand keeps going. So something like this is definitely what I really need. So I'll be a customer of theirs soon enough.
I like it. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of the winners' submissions who took home the Barbell Rescue brushes. So we got Keith. So here's Keith's submission. So getting it done in, it looks like an extra bedroom probably, since he's got the curtains on the windows and everything.
That's some good weight there.
Yeah, it is.
And barefoot too.
And he buried that squat. Yeah. Nicely done, sir.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I noticed when I watched it the first time, so watch his hands. So he's a little loose.
Loose grip,
and then when he comes up, you can see like he moves his hand towards the end. So we talked about this a lot last week. Especially the week before when we were doing a lot of the coaching feedback, was as much as you can, all that needs to be a squat is a full body exercise, not just lower body. So you got to keep that bar,
pulling that bar down.
Yep, as much as possible.
I noticed when I mess up on that, like I'll feel it down in my lumbar. So keeping it tight, top to bottom, is extremely important.
Yep. Yeah. You end up pitching forward, which then normally you compensate by curling back up and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I laugh, right? I did a full week of coaching feedback with other GGC coaches during the week of, and then I went back and watched my submissions and I go, man, I did a terrible job of keeping my upper back tight. Like,
that's what's really good about filming yourself on a regular basis. You get to notice these minor issues that you can correct once you notice
Yep.
them.
Yep. All right. His bench, I remember looking pretty solid, except for his feet were moving a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Got a
but
wide grip.
he's got those legs locked in, which is nice.
Yep,
But
good
I
consistent
know.
drive.
So when we came, we'll see when he unracks it. You can see it. Yeah, he shimmies his feet.
Positions. Yeah.
Yeah. So ideally, we get in that position before we unrack it. Then we unrack the bar, and then we get to work. But otherwise, I mean, he very clearly. I mean, you can see his quad flexing there. So I mean, he's putting in some
got
work.
leg drive.
Yeah. So yeah, just a small little tweak, and I think he's got an extra couple of pounds in him. But nice fight.
It was
nice
a good
push.
good selection for weight for him.
Yeah, he was right on it. And then
sumo. Yeah, awesome work.
Easy peasy.
I can't criticize sumo lifting. That's not my style.
Yeah,
but that looked good to me.
Yep, looked good to me as well.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see. I don't know if I have another one of the winners for the Barbell Rescue. So 3 people took home brushes today. Oh, okay, we got one more. We're gonna watch. Did you ever see? I made like an ad for Kim at one point for the Barbar Rescue. So we're gonna watch that real quick. So
okay.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark cold and the endlessness that you feel.
Wow.
You are pulled from the wreckage.
I'm Joe Gray. Will you be an angel for a helpless barbell? Every day, innocent barbells are abused, beaten, and neglected, and they're crying out for help. Please follow the website on your screen and join the HGBRC right now. That's the Home Gym Barbell Rescue Crew, where for just $49.99, only 13 cents a day for a full year, you can help rescue your own barbells from a dire fate of rust, oxidation, and disarray. Join now and you'll receive a picture of another barbell that was saved by a fellow home gym owner, just like you. Right now, there's a barbell who needs you, sitting in your garage, basement, or shed. Your purchase says, I'm here to help. Please join right now.
I sent that to
That's
Kim.
awesome.
Yeah, I sent that to Kim because we were talking and I was like, hey, I got an idea. And I don't know where it came from, but I was like, this is my idea. And he's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but we need to do it. And so I made it. And he's like, my wife is in the other room telling me to stop watching that because it's making her cry.
Yeah.
Because everyone's so emotionally triggered by that song now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it got a pretty good reaction. People were
pretty cool.
People were dying. I had a fun time making that one. So
some serious neglect on some of those bars you pictured there too.
I know a couple of them were actually bars that I picked up off of Marketplace. So and I cleaned myself. So that's always a fun one. All right, we're gonna take a look at Garage Gym Powerlifting is his Instagram handle. It is Luke who took home one of the other bars or the barbell brushes. Good depth.
Yeah.
Pretty much right on pace.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Awesome work.
Yeah. Little shift forward, but not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. That's when you know that they're close to their max.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. We talked about that too with most of the coaches. It was like, hey, look, we're going to pick your lifts apart. But if you do a real 1 rep max, like we're going to see some technical breakdown. There's no way. So
there's some heavyweight here.
Yeah. Locked in.
Awesome.
Nice.
Sticking with it. Yep.
It almost looked like he hit a little bit of a sticking point, like at about the shin.
Below the knee.
Yeah. And then finished it off real good. So right there.
Yep.
And then boom, got it.
Yep.
Nicely done.
You see him pull the slack from the bar at the beginning. So yeah.
Yeah. My guess is if he could toss in maybe some halting deadlifts right there at that knee height, they're going to be terrible. I remember the first time I
hate
did those. They were the worst.
Yeah.
That and
But they're
deficit.
worth it.
Yeah, that and deficit deadlifts work really,
Yeah.
really, really well. And they are absolutely miserable every single time. So,
But the good thing is, if you do them, you're likely to get over that that issue. Thankfully, I did, because I hated those halting deadlifts.
yeah.
Don't have to do them anymore. Thankfully.
Now you just gotta get stronger. So.
At least not at this point.
Yeah. All right. So next up we have Oak Club, who tossed in their KLO step and a set of mag pins. So Oak Club is up out of Canada. They make very custom stuff to the point stuff. Yeah, to the point where like one of my dudes on Reddit on our home gym had sent them like a napkin drawing that he had done. Was like, hey, can you make this? And it ended up being the rack attached like curl bar station that they make. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And so he was like, I have a small non-rackable curl bar. I want to be able to rack it. I think if you make something that can hold that, it might work for other things, because then he ends up using it for like seal rows as well. He's got his, Pegasus or whatever thing set up, and then it holds the bar. And so all kinds of different uses. I know people
make really nice stuff.
Yeah, the KLO step people use either for storage, because you can put it up high, you can put something up there, or for step ups, weirdly enough. And then they're the original makers of the mag pins. So I've actually, again, I got mine right here because I got a new rack on the way soon.
Nice.
So I got my KLO step. This thing is heavy, and not like bad heavy, but like solid heavy. Like a lot of times, I'm concerned about, can I step on something like up on my rack, or is it gonna break? I'm not worried about that at all. Like even with some extra weight on it. Yeah. And then their mag pins are just really nice, solid, clean, easy.
You got red. See, that's why I can never get red. They're always sold out.
Yeah, I bought like 10 of them. So so it's probably
Thank you,
fault.
Joe. Yeah.
All my fault. All my fault. So, but yeah, they up in Canada make some great stuff. And yeah, so let's take a look at Kane. Where's the button? Oh, there's the button I'm looking for. So he is a strongman competitor. Over the years, I've watched. Yeah, you probably know him.
Kane is a monster.
Monster, yeah. Over the years, I remember when he first entered the GGC, I think he was maybe half this size, and was putting up some respectable numbers. And I think he's competing in like the
strongman,
natural, like world's strongest man type stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's like at a very high level, so he's absolutely
moving some massive numbers.
Yeah, he's gonna murder an almost 550-pound single. So,
and that's like, I think I've seen him do over 6 a couple of times.
Yeah. Oh,
coincidentally, I think he has the same last name as me too.
Yeah. Quinn. Yeah. So yep. He's right there with you. So he absolutely monster of a dude. And like I said, I think he's doubled in size, and not like in a bad way, like I'm putting on mass to move mass kind of way. Right. So he is committed to the strongman lifestyle, and he's killing it. So he's taking home some Oak Club stuff, which is fantastic. Nice. And I believe he only entered that squat. So for anyone watching, you don't have to do all 3 lifts. If you're hurting, you can't do them, whatever it might be, you can pick and choose. You can still enter. So
yeah.
Yep. Next up is 2 items from Chirp. So let me find that one for us. So Chirp is probably best known for their like large round rollers. So people use them to kind of crack their back and stuff.
Mhm.
And so they come in a bunch of different sizes. I connected with them last year so the item on the right there is their Halo. So it's a electromagnetic stim. Have you ever used one of those before?
No.
Okay. So you know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So our old one was a Compex, had all the wires and stuff like that, and was kind of a pain to set up. And the battery was starting to give out on it. I connected with them. They were like, "Hey, you want to try this one? Yes, please. Let's see how it works." It's wireless, which is really cool. So you don't have to set up all that extra stuff. You can actually walk around with it. One of the struggles I had with all the wireless ones was
being tethered somewhere.
Yeah, and like I have my daughter. If she comes and sits on my lap or something, and I've got it hooked up, the chances that she rips a cord or whatever, and then I got to start over and different things, very high. Whereas with this, I mean, my wife has worn it on a walk before, right? So, and no issues. So very helpful. The way we use it, because there's a lot of people who will tell you they will do everything. People will use things like this as the typical influencer model is like, oh, I'm going to get 6-pack abs, right? They wear those things that just shake their ab muscles for a while, and they think that works. It doesn't work. I was very clear about that in my review for it. How we use it, is more of like so like you mentioned, if you lose your back tightness in a squat, your low back feels it. This works really well. You can set it up on your low back. It can kind of move that lactic acid and extra stuff around, move the blood flow, etc. And then by the end of the day, you can actually sleep, which is nice. And then you tend to wake up in the morning not feeling like crap. So
I'm interested.
Yep. So
after squats and deadlifts, I sit in a chair massager. It's just a topper. I sit on a regular chair, but it helps. But I have to go through like 3 or 4 cycles, which is like 20 minutes each.
Yep.
So this is definitely interesting.
Yeah. So my wife's a nurse, and she works on a diagnostic imaging center. So she does a lot of IVs and things like that. And so because how that works is she'll put an IV in someone. A lot of times she has to hold pressure. And so she's like this for like 20 minutes kind of thing. Right. So she'll come home and this whole area is just rocked.
Yeah.
And so something like this works really well because, again, she can put it on her upper back. She can go about her, rest of her evening and not have to worry about it. And it's doing kind of that active recovery piece for her. So not the magic bullet that some people believe it to be for everything, but the couple of things we use it for, it's pretty fantastic. So I have not used the RPM myself. I use massage guns a lot of times, but I assume it's in the same boat. I will talk to the prize winner in a couple of months and see if they're using it, how they're liking it, and I'll make sure I'll share that. But our dude, Clawtron, so that is Andrew, who we've done a write-up on over on the GGC website. He took home the dual halos. So it's, like I said, 2 pieces. And then Cessna over on Reddit, who we're going to watch right now. The RPM.
Wow, sunk that big time. Stuck with it. Easy peasy.
Easy on the bench. Yeah.
I like his boots.
Yeah, I agree. I'm admiring the stuff on his wall too. Did you see his looks like a DIY safety squat bar. I know
Yeah, it
some of
could
them,
be.
the pads fall apart, but like
Got the
the
duct tape on that. Yeah.
yeah, everything looks like it either fell apart and he put it back together or he made that himself.
Right.
So I also appreciate that he went from the nice clean white lifters on the squats to the rain boots for
To
bench.
the tall galoshes, whatever
That's
they're called.
awesome.
That's pretty cool. I
Uh,
wonder if he did that just for fun.
I don't know. And then we got socks for deads.
Yeah.
And he's got a handful of different, looks like a kind of like an easy curl bar, a couple of other things. I don't
Got some
know.
thick chains back there. You see that?
Where am I at? Oh, that is
To
a
the left of
chain.
easy.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to figure out what kind of bar that was, but no, you're right. Yeah.
Thickness is the same as the easy curl bar.
Yeah.
Good
That's
form
wild.
there.
Nicely done.
Yep.
And he fought for
Awesome
that
work.
one. Good
Yep.
work, sir. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was afraid at first when he went to go pull that he was gonna lose that back tightness, but he
Yep.
re-pulled
Locked
that
in
slack
again.
out. So
Yeah.
nicely done.
Very
Um,
nice. You know, it
all
makes me
right.
think the rain boots might have been for traction in
Yeah.
the flooring for the bench, so you can get that leg drive.
Yeah. All right. So next up is we watched your dude, Gabrielle, with the bench covers. So let's talk a little bit more about business stuff. So,
Sure.
or do you want to talk about your lifting? What do you want to do?
Yeah, why not? So as much as I love competing in your garage gym competition, I still do that twice a year, but I
Yep.
also do compete in the USAPL. So I had my last competition last month. We're still in May now. So April 26th, I competed, and it's the best meet I had so far. So I was really happy with what transpired there. The only thing, I went 8 for 9. I missed my last bench, and it's funny because I tapped a friend of mine who I met a couple of competitions before. He's same age as me, lifts in the Masters too, but he hasn't competed lately. But anyway, he agreed to handle me for this competition. And the second bench went so well, he decided, you know what? I know we were going for 132.5 for the third. I think he got 135. So he entered 135 and didn't even tell me. But when I walked out, I saw 2 white plates outside the reds underneath the collars. Like, I didn't think the 132.5 had the white plates, but all right, I'm ready to go. The surprising thing was I got midway and it moved like I was going to hit it. And then it just got stalled out right there. And just below the J-cups. But yeah, I was happy. So hit a PR on squats for 429. Stuck bench press the same 125 kilos, which is 276. And then I hit a PR on deadlifts at 200 kilos for 441. So I was very happy with that.
Nice. What was your total was like
It was 520 kilos, so 1146 or 1156, something like that.
Nice.
I don't remember specifically. Yeah, so I'm approaching the 1200 mark, and my goal was to try to qualify for nationals for next year. I didn't quite. I'm about 22 kilos off of that, so I still have a chance later this year. I might do the Northeast Regionals in Albany in September, but I'm contemplating because after the competition I got sick and must have caught something at the meet, and I was down for like 10 days, and ever since then everything in the body's been bothering me. Back's aching, this is aching, I'm tired. All these numbers that were easy during peak seem like massive now, so I'm just trying to get myself back up there. I submitted my lifts to this spring garage gym competition, but they weren't anything close to, what I would like to do. So one day, one time, I'm going to actually try to peak for just a garage gym competition.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I always appreciate people who enter, whether they, enter for, true 1 rep maxes or they're just there to participate. So I've told people over the years, I'm like, hey, this is about the community. And so showing up is showing up, and that's what matters. So, I've had other people over the years say things like, oh, well, I'm not peaked. And I'm like, who cares, dude?
Yeah, doesn't matter. Just give a good effort,
Yeah.
even if it isn't close to max. If you're on some sort of programming and it has you at like 70, 75%, still go ahead and like, what do
Yep.
you have to lose? You could still win some awesome prizes. So why not?
Yep. You can win prizes. I'll still donate on your behalf to Special Olympics. So, here we
Yeah.
are, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
By the way, Megan in the chat said, makes me wonder if rain boots have more friction. So I think we're on
Who
the same
knows?
page there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too funny. Are you competing are you using Brandon's basement barbell club or whatever? Yeah.
Yes, I'm part of his basement barbell club team.
Okay. Tell us how that works.
Well, one thing he wanted to do was, again, like you mentioned with your competition, is just kind of create some community of home gym lifters. So, he has a basement gym like I do, and he was cool enough to just include anyone who was competing in the USAPL, whether it's a garage gym, a basement gym, it didn't matter. So we have a pretty decent sized team, and if you're part of the USAPL, which I think at the time was one of the requirements for his team. You compete under that team banner. You can actually get one of those cool banners. They have one for last year. They have a new white banner for this year. But you get to compete. And if you've seen some of his custom A7 shirts, it'll have like the bar don't lie across the collar, so you can still see that through your singlet. And then he has the naked squatter on the back. He's coming up with a new version. But I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think he mentioned he wants to open it up to others who aren't necessarily competing in the USAPL, but have a home gym and want to be part of the team. So
Nice.
I think it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Because I think he had told me at one point you have to have like a registered gym to compete in USAPL. Is that right?
I don't know about a registered gym. You mean like a
Okay,
home
maybe
gym?
not.
No. It just, you needed at least 2 people originally for teams. Now I think the USAPL
Oh,
changed
okay.
that.
So maybe that's what it is. So yeah. So
Yeah.
he created a gym, so then that way there was a team for people
Exactly.
who lifted at home by themselves, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So not necessarily an actual gym, but a gym mentality, if you will, a club
Yep.
based on that. Hey,
Yep.
there goes Eric. What's up, man?
Yeah. There's Mr. Coach Carp. We were
Yeah.
talking about your bench cover there earlier, sir. So
Yeah.
how's it holding up for you? Let the people know.
And by the way, Carp, you owe me a shirt, man. I'm gonna hold you to it.
I almost wore mine today. If I had known
Yeah.
you were going to be there, I would have worn it. Instead, I
Right.
got my. See it?
Nice.
That's from
Yeah.
last fall. Our nonprofit was stronger than, and that's their sign. Powerlifting makes me
pretty cool.
hard. So I have to be
Yeah.
careful and not wear that out in public very often
Yeah.
because I get weird looks.
I
But
imagine.
otherwise, it's a fun shirt. So
Yeah. I actually had Brandon's Bardon Live shirt on for my workout session earlier, but he got a little too sweaty, so I changed
there
for
you go.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right on. All right. So are you still doing? I know for a while you were doing some content creation stuff on YouTube. Are you still doing that?
I am. Yep. I've slowed down a little bit. So I guess this is probably as good a place as any to kind of explain why. But last year, I got laid off from my job of 17 plus years in clinical research. And I was in clinical research for over 20 years, but that job I was with for 17 and a half years. And that happened around July. So, it was actually the first time in my life I was unemployed. And I've been working since I was 9 years old, if you could believe that. But, it was strange for me to be in that position. So that's part of why I actually created 922 Designs, because I decided after, doing a job hunt and finding that there seems to be this thing with ageism now. If you're close to retirement, a lot of companies aren't necessarily interested in hiring you because they feel like you're just going to be on your way out the door soon. And I just decided I'm going to depend on myself. So that's why I decided to create 922 Designs. Yeah, you can see I have quite a lot of videos there. So the last video, I think, was my meet recap for this last meet in April. But I definitely intend to continue pushing out content. I want to give back to the community, and I had a lot of wisdom passed on to me through, other content creators like yourself, like Brandon, like Coop. And so that's one of the reasons I decided to create the channel back in 2020 after setting up the gym during the pandemic. And I do enjoy it, but this whole situation with my personal life and then the business kind of slowed me down from that. But I do need to pick up and, kind of hit my stride again. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to be meeting, hopefully I got to tie bases with, I don't know if you know James from the Robo Cage. He's kind of local to me. He's in Jersey and I'm in, near Philly. So he just started a YouTube channel. Great guy, young man who's seriously strong as well. So I'm trying to set up with him so maybe we could, choose shop at his gym to get a small workout session in. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for my next video. But a few other things, like I want to do a follow-up of the Freak Athlete, Nordic Hyper Pro, which is cool. I know, you got the belt squat attachment. I'm still waiting on mine. So there are a few things that I want to, I was thinking of doing a follow-up with the leg curl attachment. And then when they told me about the belt squat attachment, I said, you know what, I could just tie them all in together. So I definitely have a few ideas for some subsequent videos that I will keep pushing.
Cool.
Which
Nice.
is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my next review coming out. Hopefully either next week or the week after is the Hyper Pro. I'm a lucky dude and I get all the fancy attachment stuff early. I had someone comment the other day on my video for the belt squat piece. How do you have that already? Like, here we are.
Yeah. Even like Benji spoke to me, I don't know, maybe 5-6 weeks ago, and I was on a call with him and a few other people. It's like, yeah, we're just releasing this. We're gonna get you one, and I saw you with yours. Like, yeah, Joe's got one already. But I figured, and that's cool because you did a great review on that, and I love your video, or I don't know if it was a full video or short, but you showed how to use the cable pulley attachment that they. I don't know if that's out yet or not, but.
They did a pre-order for it, and I don't think it's on the site as a standalone product yet. Yeah.
Okay.
So
well, that was cool because I had told Benji that idea, and I think I commented something like that on your reel.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain it, and we were doing FaceTime, and he's in the factory in China at the time. He's like, "You mean like down here?" And I couldn't quite say it. And I was like, "Yeah, maybe that would be a problem, but I think we could get it to work if you figure it out." And then I saw your reel. I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to, explain to him."
Yogi, I'm pretty sure is going to be on this week with us, and
cool.
he's hilarious. So he's full of piss and vinegar, and so when they first sent me the leg developer. I said, hey, he kept going, it's the best one you've used, right? And I go, almost. And he's like, well, why isn't it the best one? And I go, well, my Inspire FT2, the leg developer connects into the cable machine. And I said, and that's just a superior movement. And he's like, and he gets frustrated every time because he's like, damn it, now I got to go back to work, right? So then one day he's like, he sends me something, and I go, I have to message him like, what did I just get? And he's like, it's the cable attachment piece for the leg developer. I'm like, oh, okay, you figured it out. So we walk through, because when I get that stuff, there's not even instructions to assemble or anything. It's just here's this thing.
Figure it out.
So we're tinkering with it. Yeah. And then it's like, Joe, you got to tell me, is it good? Is it not? Whatever. And there's been a couple of times where they sent me things because I use enough weight and I'm a big enough dude that I have broken things.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding like a flaw in one of their pieces before it was even like announced or anything like that.
Okay.
And so, and when I filmed it, when I was testing it, like it broke and I start laughing. And Yogi's like, I never want to hear that laugh ever again. And then I was making fun of him one time and bugging him because he's when he's in China, if it's like 5 o'clock here, it's like 2 a.m. there or something stupid. And so he's like, dude, I'm staying up until you give me the thumbs up. And so I would send him an one-off message. Hey, this is cool. And he's like, I don't care about that right now. I just need to know if it works or not.
Right.
Hey, what about this? And he's like, Joe, you're killing me. Every time I get a message, I'm waiting for it to either be broken or it works. That's all I care about.
Right.
And I sent him another one, and then he's like, seriously, freaking stop it. And then the next one, I'm like, hey, Yogi, how you feeling today? And he's like, I'm done. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, he's dedicated, man. He's definitely dedicated and hardcore, very enthusiastic about what he does, and I love that. And if you know anything about him personally, you know why he's kind of driven to do what he does, which is cool. And that's why I love that company. They take the feedback from us, and they'll make changes in as real time as possible.
Yeah. I've worked with a decent chunk of people over the years who don't take feedback well. They take it like personal, right? Like, and I get it. Like I've made things. I make stuff. My background in corporate HR. I'd put out like a learning for somebody, and someone would nitpick things, and your instant reaction is like, "Screw you! You don't know what you're talking about," kind of thing, right? But the correct response is thank you. That's how I get better, right? And so they've been really good at that. They even, a couple of things I've tested for them that I don't think they've announced yet, that I've gone back to them and gone, it doesn't work. And they're like, but it does. And I go, I know you're telling me that it doesn't. And he's like, okay. So then we sit on a call and work through like, why is it not working and whatever. And what I always tell them, I'm like, you built it, so you know how it works because you built it. I'm the end customer. And if I can't figure it out, I guarantee you nobody else is figuring it out. And then my wife will use it and go, this doesn't make any sense. And then she's done. And I use her as an example as I go, she's like the first impressions person. If it's a bad first impression, it never comes back, right? There's no second, right? And so she's really good in helping me on the review stuff because of that, because she literally, like, if she goes and touches something and goes, that feels weird, it's game over. So, but yeah, they've been
good feedback for them.
Yeah, they've been really good at, okay, we got to go back to the drawing board.
Right.
So,
and that's why they need people like us to do that, because they do think about it a lot and they try a lot. When he FaceTime me, he's in the warehouse and he's got some of the workers back there who put some of the stuff together and trying to explain how certain things work. And it works for you in your setting with your body type and your strength, but you need a test pool basically to say this is great or this is not working. Hey Rory, what's going on?
What's up, Rory? Hey Rory, by the way, so I just sent off emails today to Nate at Executive Fit for the awards from Awards Week last week, as well as to my dude James at Spider Chalk. So Rory took home one of the deadliest lifts from last week from Mark Rosenberg. Nate said he's going to see you at, is it Music City something? No, he gave me a different one. I mean, he'll probably be there too. He said, I'm going to see Rory at Music City Fit Expo this weekend, so I'm going to bring his to hand deliver him. So keep an eye out, Rory. You're probably going to be the first one with the GGC award from the spring in hand. So, Music City Fit Expo.
Congrats.
So, that should be cool. So, historically.
That video with Coop, by the way.
What's that?
I love the video with Rory and Coop, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I did a walkthrough of his gym warehouse production, all that good stuff. So, So, did you see Rory's lifts? The 1,500 pound total? And
actually, I did. Yeah. I think he submitted twice, and really showing the rest of us up.
Yeah, he had to beat Kurt after his first one, so he redid it, and
impressive. Fellow military man.
Yeah. And that's a reminder. Obviously, today is Memorial Day, right? So
That's correct.
thank you to everyone who is serving the whole deal. So thank you for the day off. That's appreciated as well. So yeah. All right, man. You want to wrap this up with announcing our final winner for today?
Bells of Steel. Yeah.
Yep. So Bells of Steel is tossing up for the spring.
Nice.
This bad boy. Let's flip to this guy. Oh, wrong buttons. Hold on one second. So Bells of Steel is tossing up a cable tower so the winner can choose plate loaded or stack. I don't know why you choose plate loaded, but
Selectorize all the way.
it's totally up to you. If
I
the
guess
winner,
it depends on the maximum weight, right? If
yeah,
someone's a
so
beast, they could probably load more plates. Who knows?
yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say go selectorized, especially since
Yeah.
you can toss on a gym pin or something like that and, you
Right.
know, add up and do your thing. But
Convenience
so,
is game changer right there.
yeah. So when we moved from our lever gym to the functional trainer, that was the big thing. And I mean, the ability to just go boop and you're done is it's why, like, I found myself with plates going, I don't want to go grab a 5.
Right.
Like I just like it's only over there, but I
Yeah.
don't want to go grab a 5, right?
And after you get selectorized, you're like, why did I ever go with plates and
Yeah.
moving them around the gym and loading them on?
Yep,
So, no,
it's
thank you.
insane. So
Yeah.
yep. So all right. So in the fall they're gonna do a random smattering of specialty bars for a handful of different winners. But today we are tossing out one lucky prize winner taking home a new cable system. And that is going to be, I think I have her lifts right here.
It's an awesome prize.
It's doing weird stuff. One second. Let's remove that from stage. Every once in a while, it tries to do weird things to me. Here we go. There we go. I don't know why it keeps pushing us over there. Let's do this. There we go. That'll work. Okay. So this is Miss Laramie on Instagram. So it is, her first name's Tiffany. So I think she's been a pretty lucky winner over the years because I think she's won quite a few things
Awesome.
from the GDC. She's that gray flag, by the way, off the side there is actually a GDC flag. So maybe she got some bonus points for that one. I don't know. Good karma coming to her. So she's a competitive powerlifter as well.
Good grind too.
Yeah. Good squat.
Looks like she's content with that.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the bench. Let's see. All right, here we go. Pretty quick for a bench.
Yeah.
And
that's a lot of weight.
Yep, locked in.
Awesome.
Got it. Nicely done. Yep.
Congrats.
Yep.
Thank
Good
you.
lifts.
Winner.
Yep. And that's a big win right there. So, all right. So, everybody in the chat, anybody watching this, tomorrow I am off. So, I take Tuesdays off. I go to Sky Zone, which is a trampoline park with my daughter. And what I told people every week is I love all of you. I love her a little bit more. So I try and not sacrifice that day. We have fun for a couple of hours and do some crazy stuff. I get to try and bounce my 240-pound frame around on some trampolines for a bit and not die. So far I've been able to stay in one piece. But I will be back Wednesday. I will be joined by, like I said, I think Wednesday is Freak Athlete, assuming they can follow through. If not, I'll find somebody to hop in and co-host with me. Thursday, I'm going to have Chris from Mutant Metals. So he will be on. So we'll talk about his lifting and stuff. He actually, the first time in I think it's 4 years, was actually able to lift. He entered the GGC, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about why he kind of stopped for a while. It's all been, business related, and hopefully what he has in store. Hopefully he can keep it rolling, which will be cool because I know him and one of his buddies were some GGC OGs, competed in pretty early on, if not the first one, the second one. And then Friday, I will be joined by Eddie Baumgartner, which is who I call the mask lifter. So he very early on competed with a luchadora mask on and gained that title. He won the grand prize from Juggernaut a couple of years back. And so he's going to hop on and we're going to talk about Juggernaut AI as we then live announce the winner of that, as well as a couple of other prizes, and it'll be fun times. So I think Chris and I are going to announce his winner, as well as the Prime Fitness Mystery Prize, which I don't even know what it is yet, which is always fun. So I got to talk to Prime and lock that one down. And then tomorrow, Wednesday will be Freak Athletes. So we'll announce the winner of the Hyper Pro and something else. I don't remember what else was on my list for that day, but should be a fun one. And then next week, I will wrap it all up with one final live stream on Wednesday, going into data and different things. So we'll walk through the final results of the spring event. Lifters, totals, amount lifted, probably compare it to some wacky stuff like I normally do. Kids lifted this amount of Reese's peanut butter cups or something like that, and all kinds of good things. And we'll have some fun with it, and that'll be it. And then
useful statistics.
Yeah. So, are you going to Home Gym Con?
Yes, I am. I'll be there first time as not only as a visitor but as a vendor. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. I will see you there, sir. Me, my wife, and my daughter are all going.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we're making a trip of it. So, we're going to Arizona for a couple of days. A buddy of mine runs the Great Wolf Lodge, Lodge there.
Yeah.
So, he's going to hook us up, and we're going to party hardy for a couple of days there, and then head on over to Louisville, hang out, check out some gym equipment, and then we're going to hang out until I think we don't get back until like the 8th. So we've got another week and a half tacked on the backside of it, where we're going to check out the Smoky Mountains and see some stuff in Tennessee and head back to Louisville and probably watch the 4th of July stuff going on there. And see some of the Midwest. So we're
I'm
excited.
looking forward to it. Not just for the event, but to get to meet people like you in person, Rory, Carp, a bunch of other people. So definitely looking forward to it.
Yep, should be fun. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thanks for checking in. Marcus, you want to leave people with anything before we take off?
Just thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Appreciate being part of the community. And I think, like I said to you in the past, I love what you do with this competition. So keep it up.
You bet, dude. Let me send people in the chat a link to your site so they can check it out.
Cool. And I'm excited to get in touch with the prize winner so I can make them really dope bench cover and end caps.
Yep, that'll be awesome. Thanks, Roy. Yeah, I'll keep that on the list. I'm trying to balance the work/not work stuff of the vacation. So I got invited by David Dennis to swing by as well. So he's Gorilla Strength. So we'll see what we end up doing. I'll put you on the tentative list as well. So it'd be cool. So so if you're in the chat, there's Marcus's website for all his cool custom stuff. And that is it for the day. I just finished smoking some beef earlier, and I'm gonna go carve that up and have some dinner. So
I'm jealous.
Yep, you should be.
Enjoy that.
See you, everybody.
Right, take it easy.